is a sound that is normally mastered around age 6, age 7. If you have a child that's in that age range and they're having a difficult time saying the S sound, I would recommend working on it and getting it corrected. There are two different ways that S is said incorrectly. There's a frontal lisp where the tongue pokes out, and there's a lateral lisp where the sound is coming out the side. If your child is saying the lateral lisp, that is not a typically normal or a typical developmental error. It's not something that I would think they would correct themselves on or that they would fix just by developing and growing up. If your child is saying the sound, it needs to be fixed right away no matter how old they are. To make a correct S sound, you need to restrict the air in your mouth so it's coming out a little bit at the top of your mouth. So the teeth are going to be together, your lips are going to be in a kind of a soft smile, and your tongue tip is going to be up towards the top of your mouth. For little kids, I like to use the analogy of a snake. So this is their snake sound because it sounds like a snake. What I do is I teach them to keep the snake in the cage. I keep the snake behind my teeth. I don't let it poke out. It's helpful to look in a mirror when you're practicing so that they can have that cue and that feedback as well. For older kids, a snake sound might not be too cool, so sometimes we'll talk about how S is a long T sound. So I'll have them say t, 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 and then they need to hold that T, keep the air coming through their mouth, and adjust their tongue however they might need to so they can get a nice crisp sound. So t, 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 the long T sound. For children who have that lateral lisp, it can be really difficult for them to find the correct place for the air to go through their mouth. So a strategy, I guess, that I've used is to get a straw. I use this straw and I put it right in the middle of their mouth, right in front of their teeth, so that you can hear the difference. And if they're saying the S correctly, you're going to hear the air going through the straw. So here's N correctly. And now they can hear it correctly. If they need to use this for a little while, that is totally fine, even when you're practicing words. Sam. It can be very helpful when they're warming up and getting their tongue in the right spot. It's important to make sure that a child can say the S sound correctly just by itself before you start practicing in words and in sentences. It's going to make it much easier for them to transition to those more complex things. It's also important to try to make therapy and practice fun. It can be really monotonous saying sounds over and over and words over and over again. Try to think of fun games you can play. You can also incorporate technology. Kids love using apps. One of the apps that I've had a lot of good success with and that I enjoy using is the Speech Essentials app. Here's a little bit more information about how you might be able to use it at home.
Whether you're a therapist or a parent, take a couple minutes and check out how Speech Essentials might help you. The word flashcards are a great place to start. It's easy to use, has great image and sound quality, and each time you start the activity, the word list is different, so it's not too repetitive for your child. The cheering at the end of each list is a great time to celebrate and reinforce the progress they have made. Here's a tip from our speech therapist.
When using the flashcards, say the word 5 to 10 times before moving on to the next card. This allows the brain to reprogram the motor skills used to create the sound, which may take a few tries to get right.
As you are practicing with your child, make sure to use the mirror function that is built right into Speech Essentials.
For many kids struggling with correct pronunciation, being able to see what their mouth looks like next to what yours looks like when you make the sound correctly can really help correct the issue. And this is very helpful with sounds that are made at the front of the mouth with the lips and the teeth. Sounds like B, P, TH, and L especially.
Speech Essentials also has sentence-level flashcards to help children practice implementing what they are learning in full sentences. By tapping the picture, your child will hear the full sentence with correct pronunciation that they can then mimic.
We live in Oregon.
This is a great feature if you aren't able to be right there practicing with them.
This is a step that shouldn't be skipped when practicing. Once a child can say a sound in a word, it's important to increase the complexity. This will help your child implement what they've learned into regular conversation. Starting with the word swap sentences can help make it easier because only one target word changes in each sentence.
There are also 2 different games to make speech therapy engaging. A memory-style card matching game that even the smallest child can play, and a word find game.
Endless drilling using flashcards will quickly lose the interest of children. Have fun playing the games, and your child will hardly notice that they're working on their speech. Every time a word or a match is found is a great opportunity to practice the word 5 or 10 times before taking their next turn in the game.
Try Speech Essentials with your child and see how much of a difference it can make.